This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in MetaQuest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The MetaQuest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and more, including my two personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code RuffTalkVR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered.
Hey everyone, sorry for the interruption, but we have a special public service announcement. Manscaped now has beard products and now a brand new nose and ear hair trimmer. If you haven't already heard, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming are traveling north of your South Pole with their revolutionary Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Plus, they've now launched the brand new Weed Whacker 2.0, which confirms they have all of your best tools for your hygiene toolbox. Time for you to upgrade your toolbox by going to manscaped.com and using our code RuffTalkVR for 20% off plus free shipping. Gentlemen, meet the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. It is the ultimate package that makes it easier than ever to craft your signature look. It all starts with the Beard Hedger. This thing is an elite beard trimmer. The Beard Hedger is tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to single stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. This waterproof cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard. So no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. The Pro Kit also comes with 4 dermatologist-tested formulations for your post-trim care. This includes Manscaped's beard shampoo and conditioner, beard oil, and beard balm to moisturize, style, and shimmer your new beard. Plus, the kit has 3 free gifts: a beard brush, a comb, and scissors. With a nice beard, you think your face is perfectly groomed, right? Wrong. You need to keep an eye out for those tough-to-trim ear and nose hairs. The brand new Weed Whacker 2.0 offers improved blades and skin-safe technology with a no-tugging guarantee. It's never been so painless to mind your manholes. Now that you have your face looking great, you must try Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0 for the full body grooming experience. Good news though, the Performance Package 4.0 now comes with the Weed Whacker 2.0 and all of the other below-the-waist grooming products Manscaped is known for. Your significant other will be delighted to see you covering all bases, if you know what I mean. So get 20% off and free shipping with our code RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code RuffTalkVR. Always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. And like most Mondays, we're hitting you with another edition of Monday Morning News. But I'll say this week particularly, pretty freaking packed.
Dude, every single day of this week. This past week was like something
big coming out.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, this is not going to be a...
You were joking. We probably could have done like a daily news show with how much stuff was coming out.
Just this week? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and not even on news from last week. Upcoming on this week, like March 9th, is an insane day this week for VR. On Thursday, we have, which we'll talk about a little bit more, but Walkabout Mini Golf announced that they have a new DLC dropping March 9th. So right off the top, one of our favorite games coming out with another great DLC. I mean, come on.
This is a weird one.
Well,
I've seen what they posted.
It's called Upside Town. So based off of the name and what they've shown, Upside Town.
It's going to be neat.
The picture was upside down. And then they did some like cryptic tweets and posts last week too with like all the text upside down. So I have a safe bet that this one's going to be upside down.
Upside down and all around.
But how the hell do you play mini golf upside down? I'm so curious how this whole course is going to go. It's Mighty Coconut, so we know it's going to be good.
There's somebody that's got one of those. Remember those, like, it was considered exercise, but it's like the 3 rings and you stand in the middle of the 3 rings and they go all, it's like real spacey looking. But with those, just like slight movement because you're balanced really perfect. So you can go upside down. I would love to have because it's all standalone VR anyways, but that would be my solution. So if you had to shoot sideways or something, you could physically make your whole body go horizontal or upside down or diagonal, whatever you wanted.
And then hit it like that. No, it's going to be...
This is going to be... But as with anything with Walkabout, if we
Mighty
know they're
Coconut,
coming out,
baby.
yeah, it's like if it's coming, we're fuming.
It seems like every new course...
Foaming at the teeth.
Yeah, they up the ante a little bit. They bring new gameplay elements, you know.
No two courses are the same.
No,
not conceptually. Physics, I mean, their physics are always good, but sometimes they bring their own physics element to an experience. The overall, I mean, underwater world. Come on, dude, Atlantis. That was,
and they did our favorite marketing style for this one. You know, there's been previous DLCs that they announced months in advance, but it's always our favorite when something's announced and then it's available. They announced it last week. And now this week, like I said, Thursday, March 9th.
it will be coming out
1 week later. That's freaking awesome.
as if March 9th isn't already packed. Just make sure you leave a little extra dough for the new Walkabout course. For sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely cover it. You know, if we can wait till, you know, we'll cover it next Monday, but I don't know if we'll be able to wait. It's Mighty Coconut.
We'll see what happens.
It's Mighty Coconut, you know?
We'll see what happens.
So that's dropping on March 9th. Also a game that we talked about last week, so I won't cover it too much, but just to go over like what's coming March 9th. Guardians Frontline, the official store re-release with Fast Travel Games as the new developers. And I'm sorry, pause, not new developers, new publishers.
Yes.
The developer's virtual age remains the same, but it's getting re-released on the official store, and that also comes out March 9th. So boom, 2 already.
Yeah.
And now, Peaky Blinders, a show that, you know, I haven't watched it really at all, but it's one of those shows everybody I know who's watched it
Loves it.
Yeah. And they're
How can you
making...
not like a show called Peaky Blinders?
And it seems like, I don't know, I've never watched it, but it seems like mafia gangster-ish. It seems really freaking cool. But there's been a VR game in the works for a while. You know, it was like early access on Pico and stuff. And it's coming out on the MetaQuest store March 9th.
Yeah. We even tried picking some brains outside of our own as to, you know, what's the inside dealie on March 9th. It's almost like a whole bunch of developers got together and said, you know what? Which, you know, didn't happen because I'm not going to lie. If I were a developer and I was releasing a game and I was like,
I'll take March 15th.
Walkabout's dropping a course on March 9th. Let's see. Yeah, easily. Give me a 2-week spread from when they do their shit because they have a pretty huge following. I don't want to compete with, I don't care what my market is. I'm not competing with Walkabout.
And Peaky Blinders is a licensed, like, that's an existing TV show. You know, it's a pretty big release. And who knows if it's going to get a little buried because already now we're at 3. We had Walkabout, Guardian Frontline, and like I said, Peaky Blinders coming out March 9th. And now I know I'm going to miss other things coming out March 9th, but out of nowhere, also for March 9th, Big Box, the developers of Population 1, they announced that starting March 9th, Population 1 on the MetaQuest store will be free to play from now on.
Yep.
That's a huge move because, for those who aren't aware, Population 1 is a $29.99 game right now on the Quest store. So the transition from $30 to free to play is huge.
So the question will be asked instantly.
What if I paid?
I paid $30 for this, not to mention $1,000 in skins I have. What about me? What do I get because of my... I know how this works. You're going to go free, and now everybody's going to get it for free, and I paid all this money.
Yeah, so what they're doing...
They got you covered.
What they're calling the... Let me make sure I don't mess up this name because...
Big Banana.
Yeah, it was the original Banana bundle.
Yep.
You're the OB...
$80
value.
That's
what they say.
You know, based on...
The skin
previous
cost
or now, because that could be 3 skins.
Well, it's going to come with like an exclusive PJ skin, some other, you know, character skins.
That nobody who
skins.
gets it for free will ever be able to get.
Yes, this is never going to be something you're going to be able to unlock or, you know, you buy the game or not buy the game, but
So
you start playing in a year.
Basically, if you know it's going free and you want it, now you're at the turmoil of, because I mean, I'll say if you don't own it and you get it, you're probably going to wish that you owned it just so you could have that $80 worth of stuff, because
It's the only game I've ever bought skins for.
yeah, it's one of those weird situations
I
where
actually enjoy it. It's fun.
they crush it with their skins and their gun skins, and then so I mean, I'm happy I own it and I'm not upset. I thought
You'd be contemplating buying it, is what you're saying. Oh no, probably not, because you wouldn't understand
yeah,
that you'd
I
like
wouldn't-
the
I wouldn't
skins,
know.
but
That's why I'm just putting it out there. That
Yeah.
if like you don't own it, you have a very small window
Yes.
now, a matter of days, to go out there and get it, so you can have something that you won't regret not having when you play it for free and see other people running around in it. And what's going to be cool too is you're going to know, I think in a lot of instances, how many people who've been playing it who paid for it versus the frees that are going to start coming in.
oh yeah, and that's a huge.
I thought
move.
it was the kiss of death, to be honest with you, but for reasons that we won't talk about today, but we'll figure out maybe in a couple of days. Who knows? I actually had fears of why they were going free, but now I feel much more. I feel a lot better inside about things that they're working on and are pretty much going to be happening for the game.
Well, I always go back to, I try to learn from interviews that we do, like the Chris Pruitt interview, hugely educational, but oftentimes every interview has like at least one huge tidbit that's easy to miss, but there's huge knowledge coming from, experienced developers. And one of those, I remember when we interviewed Ryan Angle, when he announced on the podcast that, the DLC course that they were doing at the time, I don't remember the name of it because they've done so many at this point, but that one was going to be free to play. And he was like, we balance things, there's revenue. You want revenue, you have to make money. People have bills, but you also look for a multiplayer game a lot at your daily active players. And so you got to balance. Do we want to make money? Do we want to increase our daily active players? And that's a balance. So who knows if on the Population 1 big box meta team, and because they're meta owned, if they were like, look, we make a lot of money off of skins. If we make this free to play, our daily active users, maybe it's going down, who knows, whatever. They're like, that's a quick pump up to that. And we see in our system, people who play the game spend money on skins. So why not? If we pump up the daily active players, we should pump up the skin sales too, right? So I can see why they did it, but I also understand your fears as well of like,
Yeah, like I said, I don't have right now at this moment, I don't have any fears about the future of Pop One. I feel
better.
Oh, much better.
Yeah.
And again, everyone else will know as well, but today you won't.
Well, and that wasn't the only news that Big Box announced with this stuff either. So you'll get your original banana bundle and you log on after March 9th and the transition happens. But they're also making some changes. Like they're bringing back as an optional map mode, they're bringing back the original Season 1 map is what they say. Now, here's my thing. I remember when Season 1 came out, and it wasn't the original map. Like
the original?
Season 1 came with some map changes. So here's where I think of the game launching as Season 0. So which map are we talking about? Are we talking about the map that came with?
Probably Season 1.
Yeah, but I want that original. I'm hoping
that'd be like an official starting line, I guess, if you're creating seasons.
Yeah, because I remember when Season 1 dropped. I also think that's when they did like that one-time battle pass. If I'm matching up that timeline, correct?
I remember they used to have so many different little, we'll say monthly.
Yeah.
They were. I actually liked them before all the changes they made with like the coin and shit and all that. It's like they had such a good system going with just achievable achievements that really anybody, half an hour to an hour a day, and you could pretty much get the new skin that was coming and the weapons and
what I'll give Big Box credit for,
or weapon skins, I'll say.
They're always kind of like testing out updates and trying new things, adding a game mode, adding a map change, taking away, tweaking guns. They're one of the most active developers with updates I've seen on the Quest Store. Not that others aren't, but they stick out if you list developers that pump out updates.
I mean, they've had a successful run since they dropped the game.
They got bought by Meta.
Yeah. It's,
they weren't owned by Meta at release. They got bought by
Meta.
Meta.
How much better do you have to do when you already got something that's working?
So I'm excited for this one. What's interesting, free to play on the Quest Store. It remains paid on Steam.
Now the kids get Among Us to come yell at you, Rec Room, and Pop One.
So Gorilla Tag did this too, where they made it free on the Quest store, but paid on Steam. And so Big Box is doing the same thing with Population 1. It's only free to play on the Quest store. And the reasoning they use is they go, if it's free to play and we ban somebody for hacking or a bad behavior, it's too easy to make a new Steam account and bypass the bans. They say with meta bans, it's easier to guarantee that user is banned, but they can't make that guarantee for a PC. Somebody's going to go use a VPN. It's a whole, they're a new user by all.
Although Steam, I mean, I don't know if they're all using anti-cheat, but if they're using the anti-cheats, then it's locked into your Steam ID.
Yeah, so. But it's my understanding it's pretty easy to just go make a new Steam ID, use a VPN, be from a different country, spoof your device. And
I didn't know you could do that.
And you just, whatever game banned you just go back and play again. A new account.
I didn't think with Steam, unless it could validate your further anti-cheats, I thought it had to be like a validated Steam ID so it knows who you are. And then if you get caught running that cheat,
I remember making my Steam account. It was entering my email address, my password, confirming it.
You have a Steam ID. And actually your Steam ID will tell you.
Correct, but I could go make a new Steam account. I could go make a Steam account tomorrow or today and then play any multiplayer game on it the same moment.
True.
There's no like waiting process I've ever had to go
I'm thinking of like my own Steam account. I got hundreds of games in there. So
yeah, but there's no like verified. Every Steam account's verified.
Why would you want to lose that?
Because they're going to get banned and make a new one. It's free. It's free. So the logic that they make is, well, if we make them pay $30 to play the game,
they won't cheat.
Or if we ban them, they're not. So it's
How does that work for Call of Duty?
For what, like Warzone and stuff?
Yeah, dude, people cheating all the time.
I'm sure, but I'm
like
sure
to
they
the
just
point where
accept
it's like to the point where it's like those games aren't. I mean, Pop One seems to have, and I'm still on the fence to be honest with you, because we've seen some hokey shit go down.
They've always said that there's no hacking and stuff, but then when they said that, I saw a bunch of people commenting like, "Wait."
I can't say 100%, but we've been the victim of some shit that just didn't make sense.
Well, you say that you're keeping it paid on Steam to prevent repeat hackers from joining again. That's acknowledging that there is hacks, but you've always said there isn't. So it's a weird. I think they might have caught themselves in there. Is there hacks or no? Because you've said publicly there's not hacks, but then if you say you're keeping it paid on Steam, so repeat hackers can't come in, there's hacks.
They're not hacks. They're glitches.
So what's going on?
They're just glitches.
Yeah. But nonetheless, so
all right. So it's going to be.
It's
neat
not
to see whether
Pop
1 becomes a game I still want to play, or if it becomes a game that's going to just.
I'm optimistic though. I think
annoy me. Yeah. So we'll see.
That's the only danger is it Gorilla Tags. We'll
see.
I'm optimistic though, but they also pumped out that now they're sandbox. You know how they have the sandbox mode where you can make like, and then they also have like the custom maps mode. So now they're gonna take some custom maps and put them into the game.
More incentive for you to make a good map.
In like a rotating area where Outpost Hill is now. That's going to be in an evolving map area with custom map areas put in there.
I'm all for that if the person who created the map is not allowed to play their own map.
Because he's putting. You've always say you're going to build something that's.
It's like there's some areas in current big box maps that I've totally exploited. I mean, it's there, but it works really in your favor.
But there's some other good.
I think if I built a map that good, I wouldn't have a couple of strategic. You never find me in here.
Yeah,
places.
you just make me laugh. That's the first thing your brain goes. You go, no, the creator can't play that. He knows something.
That's not fair. He's going to sit there and get 100 kills a game.
And why does your brain think that? Because that's the first thing I would do.
Oh yeah, that's how I would start the building of it. All right, where's going to be the focal point of where I can go run and hide?
Make me laugh, man. So besides the free to play Switch on the Quest store, not on PC.
Yeah.
Besides the rotating area of the map, besides the return of the optional, OG Season 1 map, they're also doing a minor graphics update. That's part of the benefits of cutting off the Quest 1 support.
Which they've always seemed to get a little improvements on.
Dude, I bet you if we could go back and play the build of the graphics and everything on the first day we played it, we'd be like, oh my God, this game's improved so much.
Because I remember sometimes there would be an upgrade and we'd go in and play it and
be like,
is it me or does this look really freaking good?
Sometimes even the random third we'd be like, oh my God, yeah, it does.
Nighttime in cemetery with the lights, it was freaking perfect.
Then they're also adding a new single player mode with improved AI. So that's cool. You know, that's really good for
Get your practice
before you start hopping into multiplayer games.
instead of just fighting.
Those bots are pretty shitty. The default ones now. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Little robot bots.
Yeah. So an enhanced single player mode to get better at the game, I think will be good for new players and kind of building.
That should be the tutorial. Do so many levels of this and then go into, because let's be honest, first time you ever load in and go into it, like you're on the platform for the first time, really with human beings, it's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. So I think that's huge for new players. They're also revamping their in-game shop. So it's not just a transition to free to play on March 9th. It's also coming with a load of other fixes. They said some weapon tweaks too, because they do that just about every update.
Yeah, they're nerfing something.
Yeah, they always nerf some, strengthen others. Like I said, very few developers seem to pump out updates with the consistency of big box. The game's ever changing.
They're good.
So overall optimistic for the free-to-play Switch, but carefully watching.
I swear a lot when I play Pop 1, so if you got a squeaker and you don't want them learning new words, then, be warned. I don't believe there's anywhere in the game it says I can't swear.
So actually, there's a rule that you got to be at least 13 to use a headset too. So if anybody's breaking rules, it ain't you. You know what I'm saying?
No, God, no. But I usually, let's be honest, when we play with little kids who jump in, we know within a minute whether this, is this someone we're going to box in a wall when they die and then go away?
We don't bully little kids either. Like there's been plenty of younger kids that they hop in and they're good players and we play with them. We have a good round.
How many little dudes have come in and they're like straight up front? I only did the tutorial and we get the win.
Yep, and they're so excited.
Oh my God, dude.
But you know what? They listen. They're useful. They call stuff out. So there's
might be meat shielding them a little, but if we get the win.
Did we get the win? That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you died 12 times.
I love those experiences when you know that, or even the older people that we've played with as well, who are like, look, I'm first time ever playing.
Yeah.
And then we just, you give so that element's really cool.
But on the other side, there's been no shortage of toxic little kids too.
Oh my God, dude. It's the funnest toxic lobby there is.
Even with
VR.
adults.
Yeah.
Population 1. Yeah. I've always said it's the perfect level of toxicity.
It's got some definite cringe to it occasionally though.
And there's definitely been some lobbies that I popped in and I went, if that was my first ever lobby.
There's lobbies I've left.
I might not have thought the highest, but once you get,
because you hear somebody running at the mouth, sometimes that's a solo and we're going to get teamed up with that third. I don't need that.
Dude, how many times have we gone into a lobby? I hear the highest pitched kids. Like you can't even believe how high pitched this kid is. And I look at you in the lobby.
Start running away.
And I go, that's going to be our third.
1,000,000%.
Before it even shows it in the map selection, when you pull the map and it tells you
I remember the dad that apologized for his kid. Because his kid was acting crazy. And you could hear the dad in the background like, who are you talking to? Playing dad's headset. And I'm on Pop 1. It's like he ended up taking over and just stuck around even though he was on the other side of the map because he felt bad that his kid was on the headset.
He probably had to talk after, don't go in the multiplayer ones.
Don't you ever touch my headset.
Well, I'd rather that than the parents that
you will you will have separated parents if you touch my headset. It'll be all your fault.
Maybe I wouldn't rather that, but overall, I'd rather a supervising parent than a parent that you can tell the kid's just unsupervised, cussing, being crazy. So the balance of young users in VR, because as you see with moneymaker games like mobile games, Fortnite, kids make sales. Absolutely.
Kids are good at it.
But they can also destroy your community. So it's a balance. You definitely got to balance it. Something I'll touch on real quick because there's some other big things to go over, and maybe we'll spend either a little amount of time on it or a lot, but I don't want to gamble it. So just to get it out of the way, a game that always deserves a shout out, Beat Saber, another one of those like Population 1, owned by Meta, and pumps out unbelievable amount of updates. Probably, it's always at the list of top rated, top selling.
Yeah.
If you could see Beat Saber's numbers, would be stupid because they have one of the best money.
You'd be looking at it from your yacht.
Yeah,
in the Caribbean.
That game is a money maker because it's a paid game.
Scrooge McDuck in it.
Yeah, it's a paid game, and then you pay for it. You go into it, you have fun with the free songs, but all the artists that that you actually know, and they have them. They have a lot of pop artists.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pay for them. And you know what? You pay enough for those free-to-play songs, and you're a Lady Gaga fan, you're going to go buy the Lady Gaga pack. That's a fact. So, I mean, the amount of money that Beat Saber's made must be sick. And they just announced that they're enhancing. I'm trying to see the exact word they put. They released an upgraded version to their Imagine Dragons pack.
I own that.
Now, my question is, do you go back and rebuy it, or is it just upgraded like a update?
I'm not going to buy what I already bought. And if you're going to try to sell me something I already own and say it's better, then I'm going to never play your game again. Because that's a little dirty.
The wording was that they released an upgraded, Imagine Dragons pack. I could probably, I'll look at this real quick,
Because the pack,
hold the mic, hold the mic.
Unless the pack that I own, because that's kind of like their best of. I'm trying to think of how many songs are in it right now. So unless Imagine Dragons all of a sudden dropped a whole bunch of songs that I can't think of to justify a new pack. But that's kind of weird. It's actually really weird.
Meta said, because it comes with the existing songs plus some extra songs. I think 2 extra songs. So you're going to be existing owners of the bundle of the DLC can upgrade for $2.50.
Oh, so they're just adding songs to the current.
Pretty much. And then existing users just can pay pretty much. That's not bad. That's
whatever.
not bad.
I'm good with the songs I got, though.
Yeah, that could have been worse. I can understand that.
You know what I've noticed about the
$2.50, dude? I wouldn't even blink at it.
The paid DLC I've noticed, though, is always harder than the base game music.
Yes.
Don't know what
but
it
that
is.
Makes sense. Although there's a couple base songs in there that are freaking hard, too. Don't get me wrong. But
sometimes I binge it.
Yeah, I had to confirm that. As we're talking about that, I was like, yeah, if they're trying to double hit people.
No, that's not bad.
No,
because they're scaling it down.
Dude.
Like if you're buying a double pack of something, but you own one, and then the program's smart enough to realize that and go, no, this will only be $12.
And I think it's like you can buy the individual songs too, and they're like $2. So if they're giving you 2 songs that are usually $2 each, and it's $2.50,
I can't even confirm that because I usually just buy the
you can buy
pack
you can buy the individual songs.
So I'm like, why would I just want one song?
Chances are, if you're buying an artist song, it's because you like that artist. You want all of them. So huge props to Beat Saber. That's another.
Not to mention the base amount of music they give you with their music volumes. It's a lot. You don't need to.
That means that
you don't need to ever buy a DLC. That
means they're going through their library of DLCs that they've already released, like that Imagine Dragon ones came out in 2019 originally. So 4 years later, they don't think they're not looking at Lady Gaga and all their other ones, and they go.
I'll give them credit on that one.
That I keep mentioning because you've always mentioned that one as like one of your favorite DLC packs.
Saw her in concert. I'll be the first to admit that I don't want to see somebody lip syncing. I don't care if it's pop music. I'm paying money to see this. I want to see music. But as a performer and an actual singer and a musician, dude, she crushed it. And I'm not like, oh, yeah, I'm going to see Lady Gaga, But I walked out of there like, holy shit, I got mad respect. So, yeah, I like all her songs now.
But so you're not going to tell
me a fan.
They re-released the Lady Gaga pack. And it comes with two to 4 extra songs, and you can pay a couple bucks. Again, you're going to buy it.
Whenever they do these packs, it's always like that band's best of. So it's like anything they're really going to add is, what I want to see is like Pink Floyd and, shit that's going to make me want to spend.
Yeah, they added some more classic rock packs later last year, but it'll be cool if they go exclusively that, like a whole dedicated Pink Floyd.
I can't think it would be more expensive than Lady Gaga.
No, I'm sure it's all equal. Probably, it probably comes from the same, Universal Music.
She probably
group.
never even got paid for it.
Doesn't Universal Music
some
group
screwy contract deal? We own your music. We'll do what the hell we want with it. That's crazy. Imagine being a performer and not even owning your music.
Bob Dylan held on to his till a year or 2 ago. Sold for I think $600 million.
Yeah, dude. Was it Michael Jackson that bought the Beatles music?
Something like
and
that.
Wouldn't sell it back to him. It's just like I don't I think that's why Prince changed his name too.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't legally.
Well, and it's funny how, because like, usually you go through the
Dude,
record company.
That's scary shit to know. I mean, and at that level too, these aren't like, these aren't like indie performers. These, you look at the history of
Nobody owns their
the
own music. That's why it was so crazy
dude.
that Bob Dylan still did it. And what's funny? I was watching a Bob Weir like live acoustic set with him and his little like Weir brothers. Whatever their I'm gonna botch their little side band name.
Yeah.
But it was like a little acoustic set. And one of the songs they were gonna go play was a Bob Dylan song. Shoot, what was it? It'll come to me in a moment. But before it, Bob Weir was joking. He was like, all right, we almost didn't get to play it. We just got the last minute clearance from Bob that we can play it.
Or dude,
that probably means he had to sit there and be like, motherfucker's not answering his phone. Can we play your freaking song?
What about the instances where like a dozen people from all different walks of life actually own a song?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So in order to use it, you need permissions from 12. I'm actually happy you brought up the Dead. I'm going to jump for a minute. I'm really disappointed. You seen the ticket prices for their farewell concert?
Yeah. It's tough.
Dude.
It's tough. Now I haven't looked into it.
Dude.
I haven't looked into it. Is it their set prices or is it Ticketmaster's
No.
douchey price throttling?
No.
Because Ticketmaster also does price throttling in the sense that the amount of people viewing the page, it's going to dynamically increase the price.
No, this is straight out, fuck you, we're gouging.
Yeah, that's
on all parties. I'll say
tough.
Everybody's, and it just disappoints me for what that band always represented. To like, you've squeezed out like, I don't know. I'm really upset about it. And fuck them. That comes from somebody that absolutely loves their music and has seen the original Dead, not the washed up money hungers. Dude, I'm really blown away. I saw somebody post a ticket price, and I'm like, that is clickbait to the gills. There's no way a ticket is $2,000.
I've seen this happen with so many concerts.
Dude.
I need to see if it's them or if it's Ticketmaster.
All right, if it's not them, do you think they would allow for it being what they really are?
I don't know if they have a choice.
Really?
Well, you can say I'm not going to perform, but artists don't set their own ticket prices.
Jesus, dude.
They sold those rights away to Ticketmaster a long time ago.
Yeah, I disagree to some extent.
Oh, I agree.
I think they got a voice. At that level,
I'm sure you can. Like,
if Metallica wanted to do a show and charge $10, don't you think they could do it? I mean, it might not pay for the tractor trailers to get there, but I just over $1,000 for a decent seat.
Well, this just happened with Taylor Swift like 6 months ago.
Well, what made that screwy is people waited in that fucking queue for hours and hours, and then.
But they dynamically increased the price of the tickets too to like $5,000, $6,000. It's Ticketmaster's a bunch of. I'm not even gonna. We have our explicit tag on our podcast, and even I will censor myself to describe my thoughts on Ticketmaster. But it's very possible it is Dead and Company too. I just need to look into that a little bit.
I mean, there's no way you're getting. I don't know.
Regardless, the ticket industry.
It doesn't make sense to the band that's.
The ticket industry in general, anything dynamically priced is an effed up industry. Like it's, I don't know. I hate buying tickets off Ticketmaster. There's been so many times I've bought in tickets and didn't know it was dynamically priced. And then the day of the show, I see tickets for sale for like $40. And I'm like, are you serious?
At that point, they need to get
seats
serious? In the building. Yeah.
Serious? But nonetheless,
All right. I didn't mean to go off on
No.
I just, when you were talking band, I'm like, I remember I just literally saw because I was looking at tickets and I'm like, even the shittiest seats, it just ain't worth it.
Yeah. But they could be them, but I just need to look into it.
I blame them.
Ticketmaster.
They got juice. They've been around a long time.
Yeah. But it happens to every artist. Can't think of one musician that hasn't complained about it. Like Big, you think of like the Taylor Swifts. Again, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but
dude, she's got like a friggin' $50 million mansion in Newport. She's not, over on the cliffs in Rhode Island there. It's the fuck out. She's just happy she's not getting called out on it. It's Ticketmaster's fault.
I know.
I don't buy it. I just don't.
Yeah.
I buy it to a percent. I think everyone's involved, but if I were a performer and I knew that every time I played, and this is perfect, if I knew every time I played that the ticket agency was charging 100 people, $1,000 a ticket, when my guarantee to perform is only, $200,000. Why? Who's negotiating this deal for me?
So that's a
I now
common
need
complaint
more.
I've heard.
But one of the issues too with performers is just that. What is their minimum demand to play? I know if you want to get like Beyonce or something to play a party, you're going to spend over $1 million, and then she'll come play it. So just do the math on that. Like, how many people do you have to put into a building, and what do you have to charge? That's just for her demand. So I don't think it's as much all Ticketmaster.
Again, my complaint always goes back to dynamic price tickets. When tickets get released and they're a set price, that's one thing. But don't up my value of my ticket that I'm
Like
viewing.
it's a stock.
That's what happens. That's a different
In some
issue.
instances.
But nonetheless, we got way off.
Getting all
off
worked
track.
up.
So yeah.
Screw your VR news.
So it also came out too. Just to go back to topic, it came out the Quest Pro and the Quest 2 are both getting price drops. The Quest Pro is dropping from $1,499 down to $999, and the Quest 2 256 models going from $500 to $430. So much bigger price drop with the Quest Pro than the Quest 2. Quest Pro for $999 is, if I didn't know the Quest 3 was coming this year,
Oh no, it would be
in my
next week. We'd be, dude, how much do you love that Quest Pro?
dude, $999 is a much better price. I'm not gonna pull the trigger again, knowing the Quest 3 is coming, but damn, they're making it tempting.
It's very tempting.
The psychological difference in hearing $1,499 to $999 is so huge.
Well, it's really only $600 because the controllers cost $300. So
That's true. Dude, those controllers are the number one thing I'm eyeing about that headset.
So what about someone in like? Oh, Shoes has the Pro.
He has the controllers.
Just
Pro
the controllers.
Yeah.
So will they make a deal for somebody if they just want the headset with no controllers?
Ooh, that's a good question. I can
Right?
go on the Meta Store website and
That
see
would be
if
pretty
they do
cool.
the.
I was just thinking as they release it more like this, if like, well, I know a lot of people bought those controllers, and the controllers are $300. So
What about for $700 now? You can get the.
yeah, we'll get. How's this? We'll give you Quest 2 controllers with the Pro headset if you already own Pro controllers.
Right? The biggest selling point to the Quest Pro to me is besides the pancake
the
lenses.
controllers.
Yeah, you got the pancake lenses and the controllers.
So it would be cool though if there was some sort of deal you could do with that.
But they've been playing with pricing a bit. Andrew Bosworth said on he does like a Ask Me Anything on Instagram and Facebook and social media in general every couple months. And he said like, hey, we've been playing with pricing. If you can't tell, like I think like a month or two ago, they dropped the Quest Pro to $1,200 for a couple weeks. And he goes, so we're looking at different sales and seeing, what happens when they're at different prices. As you remember last year, the Quest was originally $100 cheaper, and then they upped it $100. And then at their next quarterly earnings, it came out that hardware sales tanked, went down a bunch. So go figure, So they've been playing with like, what's the amount that the lowest or the highest we can set it for and still sell a lot of headsets. And they said they dropped the Quest Pro to $1,200, saw a healthy increase in sales and said, let's drop $200 more then. I mean, I freaking love that mentality too.
You know what I really think it is? Just opinion. I have no facts on it at all.
Speculation.
Total speculation. But
Clear out
it's
stock.
actually damn good. No, this is genius. If you look at when they've price dropped, it's usually in relative arm reach of a competitor saying something
Or
or
headset
making
dropping.
a move. Yeah. Pico's going to drop. Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
We'll take a couple $100 off.
PlayStation VR 2 just came out.
Check this out. We'll shave off $500. How's that? $499 right off the top. We'll take it right off the top.
I think HTC's headsets dropping at the end, shipping out to pre-orders at the
Correct.
end of the year.
Yeah. So
End of the year, I'm sorry, end of the month.
we'll double drop, and now we'll do the Pro and the Quest 2. So it's almost to me more like they know their buffer of what they could charge for it before they lose money, and they're probably like, look, anytime somebody acts out, we'll test our prices and we'll take money off. And it just, because we got excited, we were like, holy shit, that's if there was no Q3 coming, we could be having a different conversation. Well, dude, you want to each get one? Like, come on.
It's tax season, you know what I'm
It's
saying?
it went down from, it's almost half off, dude. It's 50% off. We got, trying to justify it. But yeah, I just think it's the moves they make when other
I can totally see that.
headset, and it just collates with them doing market research and blah, blah. But
even Amelia in our Discord said, well, that's them trying to take out, the HTC headset coming out.
as long as they're not losing money, which we know they're not.
No, I mean, Bradley was pretty.
Yeah, they're making money.
That was what he said. It's not a subsidized headset.
And it makes sense too, because when it first dropped and it was targeted right out of the gate, with this is for the business professionals.
I think they want to see if they could get away with it.
So, well, no, because what happened? It's like people with that kind of money were like, oh yeah, 1,500 is great. Boom, we'll buy it. Now we're like, okay, well,
who else?
We'll knock it down to the mom and pop startup businesses, and then now they've knocked it down to the getting close to the actual gaming consumer.
They want to see how low they have to get it to get the me and yous.
Mm-hmm.
We're like the perfect.
They got a ways to go.
They got the Quest 3
a little ways to go.
They got hey, you can email me at roughtalkvr@gmail, and maybe we can set something up type of setup going.
Absolutely. Works fine for me.
Oh my goodness.
But I do see that relationship between other companies making moves and then Meta just, I mean, good for them because everyone is winning on all sides.
Yeah. I mean, there's been.
Except for Pico.
I remember, I like HTC as a company a lot too. They have a good philosophy. They came out a little critical. I never like to see headset manufacturers and software companies or anybody in the VR. Yeah, I don't like that.
Too small.
On their attitude, they would go, "Whoa, we didn't start the fight." You know what I mean? That would be their response. But okay, whatever. But
yeah, but you might lose the war.
Yeah, so I just don't like. But overall, HTC maybe it was their president, the head of their VR division. I'll find who exactly said it, but they were like, "We aren't supportive of the race to the bottom mentality. Like other companies want to try to get the cheapest thing possible into people's hands, and we're going for more quality." And I took the comment as a little like snide, it was like a little like a little
bit. Did they say
of
it with the pinky in the air?
Pretty much, a little bit like we're not looking to do the cheapest thing. We want to do something.
We
consumer
don't
friendly.
do cheap.
I just didn't like that. I didn't like the tone of it because
you like your toy. We don't look because we don't make toys.
Well, here's the thing. It is a niche that's in the end a little bit of a higher income niche. But the reality is we're not high income people. We're actually a little bit on we're the target audience of the Quest line of things. When I hear headset manufacturers go,
you're saying we're poor.
Yes. They're like,
like, wow, it sounds like you're saying we're not.
The push to make the reality is we're the average people though.
No,
most people are in our boat. When you say snooty, race to the bottom, you're talking that you don't have a philosophy of getting VR into more people's hands, making it more accessible.
They've always seemed a little more exclusive to me anyways.
Yeah, a little bit like, it almost is you're not good enough for HTC.
You only have a Quest 2.
Yeah, you go get Meta. The race to the bottom. Look, I didn't like that.
We're like Ferrari. If you haven't owned one of ours in the past, we're just not selling you a new one. Okay?
So, maybe they don't like the race to the bottom mentality, but I'll be honest with you.
Oh, shit.
Race to the bottom, getting cheap headsets is how you get people like me and you involved in VR. That's how you hit 20 million headsets sold, which we'll get on into a little bit more. So I like HTC a lot. I didn't like that comment when they made it.
Snooty.
And there's nothing wrong with making hardware more affordable for more people to get into. And if you say, well, that's not good for the existing PC VR users because I can afford a $1,500 headset, you're being a little bit arrogant to the majority of consumers that can't,
I don't want to start any trouble with the PC VR community.
They're a very loud and vocal minority. Yeah.
I'll just keep my mouth shut.
But overall, you get what I'm saying, though? I don't have a problem with race to the bottom. Let's race to the bottom. Let's get as many headsets in people's hands as possible.
I expect like anything else there to be, and I used Ferrari as the example, and that's a great example. I expect levels, okay? I don't expect because you manufacture a Ferrari that you look down upon Volkswagen because they make what they make for the people.
100%. I have no problem with an elitist club of like, hey, Ferrari shouldn't make a
You can own a Ferrari and not be a douchebag too. But do you know what? You cannot own a Prius and not be a douchebag.
No, you summed it up perfectly. I I don't expect Ferrari.
I'll take that heat all day long.
I don't expect Ferrari to put out, a car for me to be able to afford. That's not their model, their business model. But I would look down upon Ferrari if they came out, like you said, and go, oh, look at that Volkswagen, or,
What a piece
a
of
Honda
shit.
Civic. Oh, how dare.
Yeah. Doesn't
Yeah.
work like that.
Like, no, it's just different markets. We need to hit all these different people. And there's also nothing wrong with being able to afford a $1,500 headset.
There's nothing wrong with affording a $10,000.
Yeah, there's
headset.
nothing wrong with it. It's just on both ends.
Don't talk shit to me because I can't.
And on the other end, people who can't afford it also shouldn't look down upon people who can't afford it because look, that's a luxury that they have.
That actually does happen. I've
It
seen
does
that
happen.
down
It does
on,
go both ways. We have to
seen
be
it
honest.
on social media when
Yeah.
people will post what they got and then
Yeah.
people will instantly start.
Sorry, I
shitting
can't
on 'em
afford a
first.
$2,000 computer and a well, it's too bad. They can, kick rocks, but as long as there's not looking down upon on either way, I don't like the headset war mentality. I don't like us versus them mentality. I don't even know how I got started on this, but I just went down this rabbit hole. Now here I am. So nonetheless, though, as part of the Ask Me Anything that Andrew Bosworth did too, he also came out that, and I believe him based off of the way from Quest 1 to Quest 2 with support. I actually think they should have cut Quest 1 support a while ago, but it's still holding on a little bit.
Making friends.
It's just
today.
recently ended, I know. Andrew Bosworth says that the Quest 2 will be supported for quite a while after release, to the point that you will be able to go in the store and still buy a Quest 2 for quite a while after the Quest 3's release. So interesting. Very interested by that. If that comment holds true, how long is, quote unquote, quite a while?
Oh, 2 years.
Yeah.
3 years.
I don't know. When were you able to still buy a Quest? I know you could when the Quest 2 first came out.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember exactly at what point the Quest 1
So shit,
went
it could
off
even
their
be
store.
4 years.
Yeah, I feel like they maybe a year, but I need to look that up. So that was an interesting thing, But besides the price drop, the Quest 2 being supported for continued amount of time, there was also, and for whatever reason, I know Bradley's leaks weren't the most well received by.
They were super received. You see the amount of press he got over it?
Yeah, leaks are leaks to me, So if I was positive about Bradley's leaks, I'll be positive about these leaks, and if I was negative about Bradley's leaks, I'll be negative about these. However, I was positive, so one's not good and the other's not to me. They're both the same. So Alex Heath, he's a writer over at The Verge. He also has a newsletter called Command Line. A couple weeks ago, he came out with the leak that Meta had caught their leaker. It's funny, somebody leaking that Meta caught a leaker.
Yeah, that's not a leak. That's we're
an
sending you an email.
100%.
Yeah.
Apparently, he had access to the internal memo, and they caught the guy that was leaking to Bradley.
Because his name was on it?
Yeah, that they were leaking to Bradley Lynch. And then, I did see some other members of the VR community being a little critical to Bradley, saying, oh, the leaks hurt, but they have no problem with Alex Heath's leaks either. But nonetheless, so then Alex Heath just came out with another set of leaks. I like your joke. It doesn't really seem like leaks. It seems a little bit more like you got CC'd on the email, bro.
It's a script.
Yeah.
Here's your script.
And it was even funny on Andrew Bosworth Ask Me Anything, which I like Andrew Bosworth a lot too. He was like, leaks are bad. I don't support them. I actually think they do more harm than anything. But if anybody were to leak, I'm glad it was Alex Heath because, he did a good job in the way he did it. And, he got some things wrong. But so according to Alex Heath, Meta came out with a plethora of things announced, including like a 4-year roadmap of hardware. There were some rumors that they had canceled one of their headsets in production, a couple weeks ago. But that's normal for hardware manufacturers to have several different prototypes going.
Dude, I've heard they got a prototype for like every feature.
And that's
it's
even
just specific to that feature, and then they decide what to. So yeah,
even Andrew Bosworth Ask Me Anything said, like, look, for every product that gets put out, there's 2 that didn't. We cut 2 to 1. That's the way it goes. He's like, so 3 teams might be working each on a headset. That's going to be the next one. All of them want it. There's to be the next one, but the reality is there's only one.
there can only be one.
So he's like, you have no idea.
One for that quarter, anyways.
Yeah. So he's like, you have no idea the amount of stuff we we cut. But then it came out that in the next 4 years, they're planning on releasing the Quest 3. And then they're also planning in 2024, the Quest 3 will be this year. And then 2024, they're planning on releasing like a cheaper Quest line model, pretty much like a Quest 3 Lite. And I'm like, damn.
The Quest Slim.
Like, is that the headset you buy your kid to go play Gorilla Tag, so you don't have to buy him the $500 headset?
Dude.
But I was like, I was like, what's that mean? They want to make it as much bang for your buck as possible in that. But what does that mean?
We're going to find out in 2024.
Yeah, I'm curious.
But you know what? It's funny when you said that because I was like, are we going to get to the point where, you know how you see little kids, like literally 1 and 2 year olds with kid tablets specific for kids? They can step on it. You think they're going to have VR for kids?
I don't know if it'll be marketed towards kids, but I think this will be the headset you buy.
For educational reasons, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, obviously don't throw a 2-year-old into...
And I've seen plenty of
fucking rec room. But.
I've seen plenty of things of people, sending a headset to their grandparents or their older parents in their 80s or something like that. Mm-hmm. You could probably just get away with giving them a Quest 3 Lite. I know a lot of people like the Oculus Go. This almost seems like a successor to it. So
yeah, it'll be neat to see what that actually turns out to be.
Which really, the Quest line is a successor
the first
to the Go line.
$3,000 model. Like, wait a minute, that's more bang for the buck. I said it wrong.
Well, you know what? Here's the reality. I mean, the Quest raised $100 in price last year, but at release it was 64 gigabyte model for $299 and 256 for $399. We went $399, but I know a lot of people went 64 because the number 299 sounds so good.
Yeah, but you know it didn't sound good? The amount of storage.
Yeah, that's why we went 256. And I'm
no way, man.
So grateful I did.
I think I've got games that are bigger than that.
So
flat screen.
I think they liked their sales numbers at $299. I think they really liked their sales numbers at $299. But can you achieve that with constantly improving the hardware? So what I imagine they're going to do is eventually get their Quest 3, 4, whatever line, or to like the 550, 600 range, and then have a light option for 300. That's pure speculation too. That's just like what I would think I would do in that. But there is a rumored, light model coming in 2024. And then there was also some news about like their AR glasses. They're planning on their first full-fledged AR glasses to drop in 2027. A year or two ago, they did that first generation of Ray-Ban smart glasses.
Yeah.
They're planning on getting to 2027, doing a couple more generations.
2027?
Yep, and 2027 is when the AR glasses are going to come out. So 4 years ahead, they're looking at. And they said in between now and then, they want to release a couple more generations of their smart glasses to eventually build to the AR, including smart glasses that are going to release in 2025 that are going to have a neural band, pretty much like a watch. Not a watch, but like a wristband attachment that'll help power it. And I don't know exactly what that means. I'm not completely sold on smart glasses. I think when it makes the full transition to full-blown, high-quality AR glasses, that's going to be the real kick the door down moment. But it's cool to see that they have they're like, we're going to do a release this year in 2025. We're putting out our neural band one. 2 years later, 2027, boom, full AR glasses. So that was cool to see too.
Yeah, I mean, it's neat to hear the 4-year plan, but we know that sometimes what people hear and what comes out of it doesn't always.
Well, what did we just say? 2-to-1 cancel in prototypes, like the project, the.
Yeah, it's like anything can get. And I love how when something does get scrubbed, like the clickbait sites will do like the end of the world's falling for Meta. They lost $1 billion on this. And it's like,
ignore all the other tech stocks going down.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about none of that. And they're not losing money either. That's the.
Dude, I saw
clarify that right now. Meta's not losing. I don't care how much they spend. That's the thing. Like, people don't think that they actually make fucking money.
I've heard people say that they're going bankrupt on the metaverse.
100%.
You have because their stock went down. Stock is not correlated with the amount of revenue a company is pulling. It stock is speculative, Yep.
Futures.
Bunch of people start selling, the stock's going to go down. It doesn't matter if, that company's making buttloads of cash. In Meta's case, it was speculative price drops, their revenue is insane.
Yeah, they have the billions.
I did a whole
to
write-up on
spend.
our website about this, and like I really break down the numbers of how much they actually make and versus how much they spend. And Meta's a cash cow. It's like
Yeah, dude.
they're not going bankrupt.
When companies can legit spend billions of dollars, just think of that. Not paying their employees, spending on the side, and it really doesn't
make a
affect
dent. No,
billions, dude.
billions.
I don't even need. I would never in my life even need $1 billion. A billion.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even.
And they'll pump out 10 billion a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when the people say they lost 10 billion in investing in the metaverse and stuff, most of it's hardware research and development as well.
Research and design, development. It's like,
and
it costs a lot of freaking money.
And it's not like that money is coming out of their, like, it's not like they're going in the red.
They're not taking
10
out
billion.
loans for it.
That 10 billion lost is coming from their projected revenue from advertising.
Yeah,
it's just that they made 10 billion less, but they still pulled like 100 billion revenue. It's insane. So yeah, Meta's not going anywhere. I don't think their investment in VR is going anywhere, as we can see with a 4-year roadmap of headsets, of AR glasses, neural bands. Even for the headsets, it came out that they're postponing the idea of a Quest Pro 2. You know, that was originally supposed to drop, I think, a year or two after the Quest 3. Now they want to wait a little bit longer with it. And apparently, according to the leaks, they want to wait till they have their, oh man, what is the actual name of it? Their rendered codec avatars is what they call it, which is like where you're able to have a meeting where, like, you know, you put on your headset, somebody else puts on their headset, and then it's able to get a 3D representation of you with full avatar and face tracking and bring that into the meeting. So when you guys are seeing each other in your headsets, you're seeing an extremely realistic representation in avatar form of that person, not like the cartoonish meta avatars we see now. When you see like the examples of it, you know, with like Zuck using it, the experimental, it's like, dude, that is like game changing stuff. So they apparently want to wait for that technology, which is still, according to Andrew Bosworth, years away from being ready. They want to roll that out with the Quest Pro 2. So that was part of the leaks as well.
I hope when they unleash the like legit, you know, photorealistic avatars, that there's some sort of protection as a user from someone else using your image. You know, get what I'm saying?
I think the way the technology
Because
is,
it's like, what could stop me from taking a photo of anybody and being like, okay, I'm Tom Cruise.
The idea is, and this is part of the reason why it's so challenging and still years away, the idea isn't, I think, pre-uploading an image. The idea is the headset able to get that scan from you wearing it. So if I wear the headset into a meeting, I can hand the headset to you. You fire it up a different day, and it's not going to be me in that headset. It's going to use you in that moment. So there is no like stealing people because it's getting the live scan.
Yeah, that'd be my only concern.
Yeah,
is like what
if they
is
did
going to
photo
protect,
upload.
What's going to protect?
If they did photo
from,
upload, I'm Bruce Banner. I'm the Hulk. I'm not uploading a picture of myself. I'm uploading whatever. You got to do.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Time.
It's like the amount of like copyright issues you'd run into.
You got to do real time scan. That's the only way to do it without a headache.
So that's going to be a neat one to. I mean, granted, it's 4 years away, so.
Yeah, and who knows?
We might all have little pre-scans that we walk around with now.
Yeah, and for a company that loves their roadmaps, they're not putting any estimated date on these codec avatars either. But the day that does drop, I've used the term one time already on the episode. Sorry to be redundant, but that kick the door down technology. That's game changing. So also in the leaks, because this was full of info in these convenient leaks, it came out that Meta has reportedly sold, according to them, nearly 20 million headsets in the entire Quest line. So that would mean Quest 1, Quest 2, Quest Pro. I have a feeling vast majority of those are Quest 2. I don't know how much of a dent the Quest 1 and the Quest Pro sales like add up to that 20 million. Again, I think the meat of it is in the Quest 2, but 20 million headsets sold in the Quest line of headsets.
No, it's not bad.
That's remarkable.
Not too shabby.
I saw some people...
For the amount of years being spent on it, that's really not bad.
I saw some people being like, well, the Wii U sold this. and how's the
No,
Wii U doing?
I mean, Nintendo's been around forever.
Exactly. I go, hold up. That is the best example of how much the industry of VR has grown. Because the time where, remember when we first bought our Quest 2? If you were to have gone anywhere publicly, online or on TV, anywhere, if you were to have said, I believe the Quest line of headsets by 2023 is going to sell 20 million headsets, people would have laughed at you and told you were hopelessly optimistic.
Yeah,
You're a meta nut hugger.
It's a fad.
Stop sucking the zuck. It would have been, you would have gotten so much hate. But now you look at 20 million headsets and you go, that's not enough. Like, oh my God, we've grown so much in just a couple of years, What wasn't even achievable now, people are scoffing at as not enough. Like, oh yeah, we've grown. And that's all under the Quest.
Yep. So 20 million's that's a good achievement.
Yeah. And again, it's a number that in the grand scheme of things, yes, consoles have sold more, but again, go back to 2019, 2020.
Consoles have been selling since the 70s. So.
Yeah, your response to the Wii U was exactly what common sense should be and go, well, yeah, Nintendo was one of the most established hardware manufacturers for gaming, like for decades at that point. They should have sold more Wii U's, But VR, we've had headsets sell 1 million headsets, 1.5 million,
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden the Quest comes out and goes 20 million. Come on. Nobody would have guessed that.
It did take a lot of years. I mean, not a lot, but it didn't happen in a year or two. So
No, the Quest 1 came out 2019. So
4 years.
I'd love to know the
5
Quest 2
million.
only
So
numbers.
it's 5 million a year.
I have to think at least 10 million of those are Quest 2s. I'd even go as far to say 15 mil of that 20 mil. I don't know if the Quest 1 sold
I don't know.
millions upon millions.
It did enough for them to make a Quest 2.
And the Quest 2 did
So-
enough, clearly enough.
And
for,
they made money on it. So
Yeah.
no, good for that's a good achievement.
Mm-hmm. And then there's just a couple more things came out with that. The Quest 3 is, according to this leak and according to Meta, going to be twice as thin
Mm-hmm.
and at least 2 times as powerful.
Which I'm excited for that.
It's too good to be true to me.
I'll take the weight. Just give me the power.
Yeah, I don't mind. I know the Quest 2 gets a lot of weight complaints. I mean, granted, I got a little bit of a thick, meat and potatoes neck too, but I've never really had too much of an issue with the headset weight. I'm with you. What really gets me going is the twice as powerful.
Because then things should be twice as good.
They won't though, because that Quest 2 store requirement, just like games.
Yes, but new games that they come out, they can dumb it down for Quest 2, but they could have an exclusive for...
Yeah, there probably won't be a bunch. I don't think that we saw any exclusives for the Quest 2 until Resident Evil 4. I think that might have been the first.
Red Matter 2, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exclusive. There's a couple exclusive, and now nowadays they're cutting support now. But
So it's like as long as they allow a few to take full advantage of that power, otherwise it's just
I don't think
it's a lateral move. It
Yeah,
doesn't.
I don't think we'll see that full overnight growth. I think it's going to be like over the months in the headsets as they wean back on the Quest 2. But I agree with you. They should have a couple Quest 3.
Yeah, dude,
almost
don't
making
give me,
this
Don't
headset
give me
melt.
a fast car and go. You can only step on the gas pedal
Yeah.
halfway
Yeah.
because otherwise you didn't give me.
Mm-hmm.
What did I get?
I'm all for compatibility across headsets as long as it doesn't vastly hinder the experiences on a new headset. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like we saw with the Quest 2, with there being twice as much power, developers are going to get good at optimizing that. We saw the quality of games on the Quest 2 improve. Geez, even to this day, the level's getting higher.
Well, again, I'll bring up Red Matter too.
Mm-hmm. That was a great.
You
That's why Chris Pruitt brought it up when we interviewed him. He
It's
was
like that's what they're pulling off with what they currently had to work with.
I remember we asked him if, when do you think you'll see, developers fully, utilizing the
years.
Quest? And he was like, yeah, years. Psh, years. So that means when the Quest 3 drops, people probably haven't even fully figured out the Quest 2 yet, which is probably why they don't want to kill support. But, I'm excited. I'm a little skeptical, but I'm excited about the twice as strong, twice as powerful comment. And then also, last two things that came out on the Quest 3 is going to come with a smart Guardian because they want to push mixed reality, what they corny style call meta reality, but mixed reality. They want to push the mixed reality experiences a little bit. They're going to have an enhanced smart Guardian. So we know the Guardian on the Quest 2, if you get close to the edge of your drawn play area, it'll show up this wall boundary that theoretically, if you use correct, you won't punch your walls or your TV or anything like that. I don't know exactly what they mean by Smart Guardian. I don't even have a comment.
Sounds to me like it's a smart guardian.
Like, am I not going to have to
It's
draw
smarter.
myself?
I'm thinking, yeah, I think what it's going to do is be smarter than you to do a play area.
Mm-hmm. And be like, you really don't want it that close, bro. We're not even going to let you draw
I just don't
that
want it making determination, because sometimes, like when I draw a guardian, if there's something on the floor, you know how it'll recognize it.
Yeah,
with the
but
red
I'm like, I
lines.
don't mind that.
I'm like, don't tell me I can't have.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if it's doing it so it can start taking advantage of like room mapping per se,
Yes.
then I'm fine with it. If it knows my couch is there and it wants to tell me,
Because
I'm
you can
fine.
already start to build that, but
Yeah.
you have to do it manually.
Correct.
Build your wall.
I want it to do it for me.
Ooh, that's probably a very good guess of what Smart Guardian is.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond the
It's
enhanced,
the only thing I can guess.
it has to be. But I'm excited for it. Because if they're talking about it internally, it's something big.
Listen, it's either that or it's a guardian that, like, once you draw it, it
Mm-hmm.
starts really laying on, like, so how much do you want to go into nanophysics?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's wicked smart. Knows all things. It's just a smart guardian.
Headset's coming with GBT4 in it. You know?
You get the smart ass guardian. You know, you again.
Yeah.
You suck at all the
How
games.
many times do
you play.
I got to tell you? Don't draw your Guardian like that.
You don't even know how to do it. This one, like, I'm the smart guardian. This is who you listen to.
We built me because of idiots like you. All right.
You can't be trusted to draw a guardian. We're gonna save you money.
So
The smart ass guardian.
I would say the three most exciting things
I
about
hope
this
they
leak.
give that as an option.
Let me import. You know how people can import custom voices for their GPS, like they have like the Snoop Dogg GPS and stuff.
Yeah.
Give me custom voices for my headset. You know. So I'd say the three most notable things for those leaks were I can't even say three. You know, the headset roadmap was pretty cool. You know, seeing the headsets hit 20 million in sales, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the twice as thin, twice as powerful, that's really cool. But also came out that the Quest 3 is going to come out launching with 41 new apps and games. 41's a decent freaking
That's
amount.
a chunk.
Yeah.
Is that bigger than PlayStation's current VR store
Oh, it's going to be
by 10?
I think PlayStation's got a slight more, but it's a healthy launch amount. And now
it's scary.
they say games and apps, so you know there's going to be a couple more like productivity ones, you know, like Horizon Workrooms type deals, a media player or something like that. But you know, even if there's 10 games, 15 games, whew,
41 games would be a lot.
that's why they say
'Cause
games
you'd have
and
no
apps.
way to like.
Yeah,
you'd be like, I don't even know where to begin with.
They
this
say
shit.
games and apps. I know what they're doing. There's like 15 games in there. There's
the
10.
new and improved YouTube experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I'll still take it though,
Yeah.
you know, because 10 games, whatever.
Big screen for the Quest 3. No, I get it. No, but
Population.
even like you said, 10 games. If they're utilizing some of that new power,
Maybe
double
one or
the
two
power.
exclusives.
then I'm freaking happy.
Again, the Quest 2.
I'm happy either way.
Yeah.
I don't care.
We've been ready for a new headset.
You
for
could
like
give me a
year.
Quest 3 and say, look, we're not going to bullshit you. There are no new games. You only have access to the existing store.
But it's better.
But you know, it's a new headset. It's cheaper. It's lighter. I'd be like, okay.
Dog, I'm ready
You
for a new
know.
headset.
Like if they upgraded, this is genius. If they took the Q2
Mhm.
and were like, you know, one more Hail Mary to squeeze out the last bit of money and just retroed it down a little and made it a little more modern to what they're releasing now with their other headsets.
A Quest 2 Plus,
Yeah, the 2-point makeover, whatever you
the
want to call it.
2.5.
And they charge the same money, but you know, there'd probably be people that own Quest 2s that'd be like, I'll get that.
It's Quest through everything the same about Quest 2 except color pass through.
Right.
Because, you know, man, that's probably one of my biggest wants when I see people posting Quest Pro videos and it's like a pass through thing and I see the color pass through. It looks nice.
I become so good with walking around.
And you're infrared, you're black and white.
Yeah, I can whiz through.
Now imagine
obstacles.
when it's color.
You know what? I don't know if my brain will accept it.
You're so used to that.
I'll probably cry a little,
Yeah.
shed a tear. Be like, oh my God. It's like going from black and white TV to color TV.
To me, the pass-through mixed reality thing was it almost feels like a complete accident. Like they put the cameras in there as the bare minimum, like so people can see and draw. And then like, I don't think they were anticipating people enjoying the pass through like that, you know?
I just feel, you know what it is? Sometimes I think if like you're immersed and then really immersed. So if your home environment is, you know, make believe land, whatever, I think the pass through just gives you a sense of validity that you're in your house.
Mm-hmm.
And also depending, you're playing a scary game,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do you want to load in to your home screen being inside, you know, a fake home when you know as soon as you click that button, you're going into scary land? Now, I'd rather go from like, oh, there's my TV and there's my couch and there's my ceiling fan.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now I'm going to play this game.
It's a little happier experience.
Yeah, it's an easier, you know, versus like
Transition.
I'm already immersed and
Yeah.
I'm screwing around in a home environment and versus, you know, no. Now I'm going to get real scared.
Dude, I think I talk about it every week. I'm so freaking excited for Quest 3.
Mm-hmm.
So freaking excited. We were, you know,
It's coming sometime this year.
so ready for new
The months are
headset.
taking 3 months in.
You know, I've said it a couple times, the Quest 2 didn't drop with any exclusive game. Any game you could buy in the Quest 2, you could buy in the Quest 1 at launch. But they did have some new games that dropped when the Quest 2 came out that you could still buy in Quest 1, such as one of our favorites. We talked about it earlier in this episode. Population 1 was a release title for the Quest 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to say I have high hopes for some of these titles, but I'll just say one of our favorite VR games came out with the Quest 2.
You know what would be the home run package they could do?
Grand Theft Auto.
Yep. From a standpoint of both companies,
Yeah.
like with all the hype, and
I've been thinking that's when we're going to see it. Now I went back and I looked again at the announcement when they announced GTA coming to the Quest.
Mhm.
I was like, now here's the thing: were they sneaky? Did they say GTA is coming to the Quest 2, or did they say GTA is coming to the Quest?
Just Quest, right?
No, they
Said Quest 2?
specifically said Quest 2. I went back and I had to check. But I wouldn't be mad if they were like, look, sorry, we couldn't do it. It's Quest 3.
Yeah, I want to get the biggest.
I wouldn't be upset at it.
No.
So even though their initial announcement was Quest 2, I went back and I checked.
Listen, I can forget I ever heard it.
I can forgive,
Nobody ever
baby. I
said
can
it.
forgive. Just give it to me. Just give me the game.
Then I'd also feel bad if I was going to stay with the Q2. That one of the best games ever that, you know, franchise-wise, I can't play.
Realistically, there's
I'd
somebody
be,
who
I'd be
goes
a little bummed.
look, I bought this headset when that was announced because I knew eventually it was going to come to the Quest 2. So the reason I bought my headset is no longer valid.
Therefore,
Therefore, I'm going to complain.
you prepared to go to court?
Yeah.
Are you prepared to go to court?
So I can see the argument on both sides. For me,
Yeah.
selfishly, who's like, oh, I'm
I
buying
was just
the Quest
thinking of
3.
like if it's got that much extra power and they could
Yeah.
do an exclusive, but you're right. It's like they said it with their own words. So
I can see both sides.
One could argue I spent $500, so now you owe me $500 lawsuits will start flying in.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
it could even, because companies switch plans and cancels things and all that. You know, it would set such a legal precedent for people to be able to sue over that stuff.
Oh, but you know people do.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say, all things being said, myself, selfishly, I could handle a Quest 3 release with it. You know.
Yeah, like I said, I already forgot you said. I don't know nothing about Rockstar.
Dude, I see Quest 3 pre-orders available. I'm hitting pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that's going. Like I'm sold. We're in, baby. You know. So
Like I said a couple weeks ago, I wish I could put
Pre-order.
money into a Zuckerberg bank account so that when it drops, it's like, hey, I actually owe you $85. How do you want to handle this?
Yeah.
Game credit? Yeah, it can't come soon enough.
yeah, no, I'm itching.
Mhm.
So that's the end of what I have on the list of news. But is there anything that you saw over the week that we didn't bring up or anything like that?
I'm sure there's probably a dozen things.
Yeah,
I want to get to the root of what this March 9th pandemonium is with releases. I wouldn't be surprised if fucking Ghostbusters drops on March 9th.
There's something that there's got to be, and I know I missed one, but you know, huge props to all the games dropping that day. But it's going to be hard to check
It's
them
a
all out on day
risky
one.
move,
You know,
so I will say hats off to Walkabout Mini Golf on your new golf course because the majority of people, based on what I've seen are definitely going to be playing that.
Yep.
And then they'll trickle down to the other fantastic games that are also in experiences and new Pop 1 players. Can't wait to see in the servers.
So something I forgot to do a little earlier on the episode, and I apologize. I always like to do a little bit more in the halfway point, but I ain't going to miss you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we give a weekly on-air shout-out to our Patreon supporters in that tier. You know, we have 3 different tiers of Patreon support, and you can do. You can find the link for our Patreon in our show notes, our episode description. There you can also find a direct link to our Discord server, our subreddit. You can find some info about our sponsors like Kiwi, Manscaped. But on our Patreon, one of our tiers, what I think is the best tier, comes with a once-a-week on-air shout-out. And also gives you access to, you know, our Discord's free to access. You don't have to pay to access your Discord. Come on, go check it out. It's a good time. But for Patreon supporters in that tier, we have an exclusive chat room for them. So we can engage directly with them like that. As well, we do exclusive giveaways just for the Patreon supporters. You know, we're trying to roll out more cool stuff. We'll kind of bounce ideas off the peeps there. So it's a fun time to be there. So the members that we have in our on-air shout-out tier, we have Amelia, we have Crispy, and we have Shoes. So thank you 3. You know, anybody else who's listening, you want to go support the show. Again, we have some other tiers, so go check it out. You can find that link, like I said, in our show notes. You don't know what show notes are? That's the episode description. What this episode is about. Hit show more. Go to the bottom. You'll see the Patreon link. Go give us some love. You know, maybe pop it in the Discord too. Never ending party over there. I say it every week, and I think every week it gets better. So
yeah, it's a great area. And it was Crispy that attacked my Barbaria base, which we confirmed on Discord.
Thank you for following up on that. Last week you were speculating. Was it?
Well, what's crazy is maybe you heard us talking about it on the episode.
I think he mentioned it like Sunday night or something like that. He mentioned, I think, the day before the episode.
Yep. Where I was questioning whether it was the same Crispy or not.
But we had already recorded the episode, like, I don't know, 12 hours
I
before.
want him to come hit my base again because I've made changes based on...
Oh, you're saying that you think you can...
I don't know.
It's tough because you're not there to fight with them. You know, you completely rely on how your AI setup does, you know? So it's tough.
The smallest of changes can make the biggest differences, so... But Crispy, attack my base again. Just go search for it and let me know how it outcomed.
You know, we're talking about In Barbaria, too, a game that I can't get enough about. Again, 2023, man, we've had Drop Dead, Per Aspera, Barbaria, the Light Brigade, which, full disclosure to our listeners, we have a twofer this week. We have 2 episodes. We have this one and an interview dropping later this week. We were going to go for the 3-in-1 home run and do a review, interview, and news. But unfortunately, these developers have to make such good in-depth games.
I need another week. Bro.
Yeah, we're playing the Light Brigade. Meant to have it this week, but...
I want more time.
For a roguelite game, man.
I'm being selfish a little because there is a percentage. Listen, I want another week so I can...
We might be able to review it. We might be able to review it now.
Educated responses to what I have on it for review, but there is a percentage of me in there that really just wants to keep playing it for another week.
Yeah, to our head, I think we could pump out a review. I think it'll be better waiting a week.
Yeah. No. There's definite reasons.
But I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a percentage in that. That's me saying, hey, give me another week with that, you know? I don't have all the classes today. How can I review it without all the classes?
Correct.
That's not right. So just know, hey, we don't have the review dropping this week, but clearly we've been enjoying it. You know, the Light Brigade for a rogue light, a lot of content. So stay tuned for that review next week. And later this week, we have a really fun interview that you referenced a couple times. Dropping later this week. I think you
didn't give any spoilers because there's some good good content in there.
It was fun. That one might go on our Hall of Fame of interviews. It was just a lot of fun. Definitely somebody we would have to have back on. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe, rate us 5 stars. Always brings joy to our heart. Go join the Discord server, the Patreon, all that fun stuff, and check y'all out next week.
Take care.
Ciao, ciao.